Hello and welcome to another episode of An Encounter. And today we welcome Sri Ashwini Rajpal, who is a student of the Vedas and also the founder of the World Vedic Calendar. So we are going to see what is the World Vedic Calendar, but also what he thinks about the Vedas as being a student of the Vedas. So Sri Ashwini Rajpal, thank you very much for being here with us on the set of Encounter. First of all, we would like to know what inspired you to start studying the Vedas.
Well, I think it started when I was introduced to the science behind the Vedas. Up until at that point, I was under the impression that Vedas were only good for doing religious ceremonies. But once I got interested into the science behind Vedas, it inspired me to study it, and also not only study it, but to also give that education out to the masses. You know.
Mm-hmm. So you say you were introduced to science behind the Vedas, but we understand that normally Vedas is about the mantras we use from the Vedas. We understand we have 4 Vedas. And so how were you introduced to science? What is the relationship between science and Veda?
Well, the science is not anything different from what you may be accustomed to today.
Yeah.
Because the Vedas contains information on things like astronomy, mathematics, physics, chemistry. All these things are there in the Vedas, but it hasn't been explained to people like the general public.
Because, you know, we understand that the Vedas are in Sanskrit. So it seems like it is a difficult language. It seems like nobody's using Sanskrit to communicate in daily lives. Is it like that?
Well, these days you're correct. It's not used. Sanskrit is not used as a way of communication for most people. Mm-hmm. But it's not a dead language, as some people claim. Mm-hmm. Sanskrit is the oldest language known to man, okay? And it is very structured. It's easy to learn, okay? As compared to Hindi, for example. In Hindi, you have to, if there is a consonant that ends with ah at the end, you don't pronounce the ah, right? So in Sanskrit, you have to, unless there's what we call a halant at the end. You don't pronounce it. The other thing about Sanskrit I found is that, you know, once you know the alphabet of Hindi, which is Devanagari, that helps you. Sanskrit uses the same alphabet. So Hindi has borrowed the Devanagari alphabet and from Sanskrit. And so if you know Devanagari, I think half of your battle in learning Sanskrit is won. Okay. The other thing is with Sanskrit, you can construct the sentences any way you want. You can have the noun, verb, subject, or any way you want. Whereas with Hindi, you have to have the verb at the end of your sentence.
Okay. So, Sri Ashwini Rajpal, you have learned the Vedas. For our viewers, we know there are 4 Vedas. Can you briefly explain those 4 Vedas and what they have brought to you and transformed? Have they transformed your way of seeing things?
Yes, there are 4 Vedas, and they all covered different areas of life. because the Vedas are divine literature. They were handed down at the time of human creation by God to those there to four rishis or four seers, and those seers passed it on. Now, the Vedas were transmitted orally, and there's a certain way that you have to chant the mantras to make it to give you full effect and to get the true meaning. Okay, and keep in mind, Vedas are a handbook of life, because it's like buying any equipment. When you buy an equipment, you get a handbook.
Yes.
Right? Well, the Vedas are the handbook of life that was given to us.
So it's like a guide to how to live and all this explanation. Exactly. Now we come to your specialization. You founded the World Vedic Calendar. We have calendar, the Gregorian calendar, we have the Hindu calendar, we have... so what is specific about the Vedic calendar?
Well, two things. The Vedic calendar has its origin in the Vedas, okay? And secondly, it's based on science. Everything in the calendar is based on the science of astronomy. For example, the start of the day, in the Vedic calendar, the day starts at sunrise and it ends at sunrise. Okay.
Sunset.
No, not sunset. It's a 24-hour day. So it starts at sunrise and ends at sunrise. Okay. And that's because sunrise is an astronomical event.
It's not like what we understand, the day starts with when it rises and ends when it sets. So it's completely different now.
No, because a day is known as Ahoratra. That's a 24-hour day. Aho comes from the Sanskrit word aha, meaning the bright part, and Ratri, meaning the night. So that's how a day is reflected. But more importantly, in addition to the day, the measurement and everything else in the Vedic calendar is determined by the movement of planets. Okay, so from day one, the years are measured by the time it takes the Earth to orbit the sun. Okay? Similarly, the months are measured by the time it takes the moon to orbit the Earth. Okay. And the Vedic calendar is lunar solar, so it combines the orbits of the moon and the sun into how you determine your festivals and things like that.
Okay, so that's very interesting, because if you say the origin is from the Vedas, which we know is the four Vedas are the oldest literature known to humanity. So how was it possible for people to guess or to know exactly the planets and how they move around the Earth or around the Sun? So how was it possible? Is there an explanation in the Vedas about that?
Well, the Vedas tells us there. I can give you the actual mantras from the Vedas that tells us that all the planets are in motion and they all have to revolve or orbit another planet. So, for example, it tells us, as I said, the moon orbits the Earth that's equivalent to a month. The Earth orbits the Sun, which is equivalent to a year. The Sun orbits our galaxy. Our galaxy orbits the galactic center. So all that information that is all in Vedas.
So that's fantastic, Sri Ashwini Rajpal. We're talking about astronomy and linked to the Vedas. And we understand, like you said before, the Vedas are very scientific. Like the mantras, they have meaning when you read them, when you invoke them around the rituals. So what's the scientific meaning of having the rituals, the fire ceremonies, for instance?
Okay. Yeah, so the Agnihotra, as we know, is the fire ritual ceremony that came down from the Vedas. But most people understand it just for religious reasons. But when we do Agnihotra, we purify the air around us, the environment. And to achieve that, you have to have the right ingredients. You have to have the right, what we call a samida, the wood that's used for it. We have to have ghee, pure ghee, and there's really nothing else that you really need. But what happens is when you do that fire, that Agnihotra, the ghee gets vaporized, and that vaporization, you inhale it, and that's the thing that keeps you healthy. Now, let me give you a parallel explanation. If you were to put burn chili in a fire, and you're close by, you know what will happen.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
Okay.
Coughing, yes.
Right. Yeah. So this is what the ghee does and to the air and to the participants or the yajmans during Agnihotra.
So, yes. Now, young people ask questions, they don't understand Sanskrit. And, but the parents say, okay, this is our traditions. We have to do, like you say, Agnihotra, the mantras. And how to get them understand what's behind that, what the mantras are saying quietly. There are some translations. And if they read it English, I mean, they can't, say the word in English and have the benefits, like you say about the pujas or the prayers that we're doing. So how to get the people come to Sanskrit, come to the Vedas, pronounce it properly, because we know if there's a slight difference in pronunciation, we might end up saying something else in the meaning.
Right. Yes. So what we have started an online university. The name of it is Vedic Science Virtual Vishwa Vidyapeeth. We just started this about 3 months ago.
Okay.
Okay. So with this university, we'll be offering certificate, diploma, and degree courses. Degree courses will probably not be ready for about another year. But this is an extension of what we've been doing for the last 4 years. We've been doing online courses via Zoom, and I'm pleased to say that quite a few people from Mauritius have participated in those courses. So we started this to explain some of these things, Sanskrit, how to learn Sanskrit, and some of the scientific courses, like for example, Agnihotra. We offered a workshop on Agnihotra. Other courses we've also done online. So the university will take this further now.
Now, when people do that, those courses, is that only for their own knowledge, or they can put it in practice and do some yag and perform some prayers?
Well, our intention is for participants to give this knowledge to as many people as possible. It's not only for themselves, but they can surely pass on this knowledge.
So what we understand that, formally we believe that the origin of the Vedas is India. So it's not now today restricted to India. It's moved around the world, and now with this facility you're giving online, it's bringing closer people who want to learn, who want to know about the Vedas and the Sanskrit mantras, how to pronounce them. And my next question would be, what is there to get people, or especially young people, interested? Because today they are all connected online on their mobile phones. Now more and more artificial intelligence is coming in the game, and how to get them, what's so interesting to interest them to come there and learn something about that?
Well, we recognize that, young people today are very tech savvy.
Yes.
Okay. So that's why we've started this online university. We want them to go to our website, which is vedicscience.net, see what we have to offer. They can, if there's something they're looking for that's not there, they can send us an inquiry. There's a form on there, and we will respond. And that's how we intend to offer courses and things like that, based on what people are looking for. We don't want to come out and say that, this is what we're going to offer you and things like that. In a lot of cases, then people might not be interested, But if they come to us and say, okay, I'm interested in Sanskrit, I want to learn Sanskrit, we'll tailor it for you.
Sri Ashwini, Rajpal, so today you are sharing this knowledge that you have acquired. So you personally, what has the Vedas, or learning of the Vedas, exploring the Vedas, brought to you in your life? Have you seen some sort of transformation?
Well, I've seen a lot of transformation, not only in myself, but in other people. I just lost a cousin about a year ago, and he was relating to me how his life changed, because my father gifted him some books on Vedas, and he read those books, and he changed his life, and or I should say, the knowledge of the Vedas changed his life, and he became a more healthy individual. He became a more learned person. He became a more community-minded person, and his children, he was able to focus more on his family and things like that, make sure that they are all well settled and well have lots of education and things like that, because education is key.
So we can say that above the spiritual part of the Vedas, it is also a useful tool and guide for people universally.
Exactly, yes, sir.
So Sri Ashwini Rajpal, thank you very much for explanations about the Vedas and what you have learned and where people can go. You have said it, people can go now, get more knowledge about the Vedas, and also they can dig in and communicate with the university online you're running, and especially for young people to go there. So thank you very much. And dear viewers, thank you for watching. We'll meet again for another episode of Encounter. Goodbye.